beautiful area for a good football game. Westside and Omaha Central, less than 10 miles apart, but this is the first time they've met on the gridiron since 2017. First quarter, running back Tay Jenkins weaving in and out of traffic, takes a hit, crossing the goal line for the 12-yard score. Warriors on the board first, 7-0. Earlier in the second quarter, tight end Quinton Warren bulldozes his way into the end zone from the 2-yard line. Westside up by 2 scores. Later in the second, fourth down, Westside right back on the 2, ready to score. Eagles defense says no way. Central takes over on downs. Ensuing possession, quarterback BJ Newsom backed up into his own end zone, not for long. Eagles gotta fly. Receiver JB Livingston finishing the job. It's a 97-yard touchdown pass. Central gets on the board with a bang, 14-7. Warriors still on top. Westside responds with a 74-yard run from Kenyon Cotton to get down to the 1. Jenkins punches it in, and Westside regains the 2-score lead, 21-7. Warriors pile onto that lead in the second half, going on to win 48-14 and improving to 5-0 on the season.